Recorded live with little or no editing. It's Defense Up. I'm Run 7. How you doing? Today we're going over Genby. Genby sent in his defense, and it's a pretty good one. If you want your defense featured on Defense Up, links are in the description. While you're down there in the description, be sure to hit that like button. It really helps me out. All right, we grade on 5 different criteria. It's who you're using, their place with their power levels, their ISOs, and what kind of mood I'm in. Let's jump into team number 1. What the hell is this? Okay, that, probably should have previewed this one a little bit more. Okay, this to me looks like a waste of 2 different teams and pieces of a good defense also. So 2 different offensive teams that are being taken apart to make a crappy version of what is appearing to be a pretty decent defense. So, yeah, I think what's going on here, man, how does this even work? How does this play out? Okay, so you've got hero brawlers with Ms. Marvel. Good investment in some of the more important ones. I'm sure you probably have Ms. Marvel. She's, you know, counterattacking every time. Let's see here. Okay, I mean, it's not like okay. Let's say that you just don't have the other members of these 3 teams unlocked or built up or whatever. This is a pretty sick defense. It's not nearly as powerful as anything that it could be, that the pieces could be used for. It's a pretty sick defense, right? It's just a hero brawler build. My thing is though, is that the Shadowlands offense is fantastic. For an older offense, it's still fantastic. I love them. I use them every war. The XForce is older yet, not as awesome, but I still use them every war. And then the YA defense is coming and it's going to be huge. So I'm going to give you 2 different grades. I'm going to say, okay, let's say you just don't have access to the other members and can't build those teams. And we're just going to look at this team. This is an A team. You're doing everything right. You're investing in the right people. Moon Knight could even go a little bit bigger because his ult is fantastic. And it's going to be pretty potent, okay? However, if I find that you have access to the other team members, then this is like almost an F, man, because you're wasting 2 good offensive teams, and it's offense before defense every time. And then Miss Marvel on a better defense. So that's, it's, you know, it's either A or D minus, basically. All right, team number 2 is a Brotherhood team. On defense, I don't like Blob as a striker. However, oh, you don't have Pyro in here. Yeah, so that's a total waste as a striker because there's only one person putting out disrupts, so there's not much turn meter on Blob counter assisting. Now, he will counterattack every single time he's attacked, so you're getting lots of damage out of him, but I still think that he should be a skirmisher to apply those vulnerables and then makes, I don't know, you could... Juggernaut doesn't gain charges on his counter assist, so making him a striker isn't great, but I don't know, maybe you get a little more damage out of him there. You've already got him built up so much, you don't really want to change anybody. I'd say the best thing you could do, get rid of Mystique and put Pyro in here. Then you're going to get those disrupts on the field, and then you're going to get some turn meter rewind out of this big 7-star blob. That's probably the best thing you can do with this team. Otherwise, you know, you're going one way with the ISOs and another way with the team. So, yeah, so get Mystique out of here, put Pyro in here. Even if Pyro's only like 75k or something, I don't know, man. I mean... When you get T4s and Pyros, you know, his bleeds do damage with the T4s in him. Yeah, he's a crappy tune. You're not going to use him anywhere. But I just hate to see this defense being kind of wasted with the direction you're going. Otherwise, the ISOs are great. Your Juggernaut is smaller, so you went Fortifier. That's okay. I kind of like him as a Raider for more vulnerables. I like Pyro in there as a Raider or a Striker, putting out vulnerables and those disrupts and bleeds. And then him as a striker on that's even better on an offense when you can guide him into the vulnerable and the disrupts for that turn meter rewind works great. This is, otherwise it's okay. It's not a huge waste or anything. You've got a lot of good things going on here, but I really think you should just ditch Mystique and get Pyro in here. I'm going to go B- on that team. Team number 3, XForce. Wah, 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 wah. Okay, so we had team number 1. Team number 1 right here has your X23, and team number 3 right here, you put in Silver Surfer in place of her. This is a really good offensive team. I would say it's probably going to be like your 12th, 13th, 14th attack team, right? I know it is for me. It's my 14th attack team, but I still use it every war. It's just solid, man. And you've got some decent investment in this team here. Like, it's a, you know, with the X23 in here, who's the same power level as this guy, you're still going to have a 560 XForce team. You've got the investment in the tunes that matter. You can go into some pretty good Merc teams and just really crush them. So for me, this is kind of a waste. I don't know how this plays out with Surfer, but I don't think it's going to be a great build. This isn't a defensive team. They get all their bonuses on war offense, not defense. So it's a total waste for me. I don't even like Surfer in here. I don't think he does much for this. He's just a plug and play tune who could be used better elsewhere. So for me, this one's like a C-, maybe a D+ even. It's just, I don't like it. I don't like what you're doing here. Okay, Black Order, a little bit wonky power levels. You're just focusing on the guys that you wanted to use probably for some content, like some campaign nodes or something like that. I think that you should swap places with Thanos and Ma. I know Ma is bigger than Thanos, but Ma is kind of the important one that you want to keep alive. You want to make sure he gets to his turn meter rewind, his health steal, his defense up, offense down kind of thing. So I don't like him being there. I like Ma out on this end and Thanos next to Cull Obsidian, so that when you do mirror matches, Cull Obsidian is retaliating every time. Skirmisher's fine. You can go Raider. Hell, you can go Striker. I mean, a lot of these guys have some flexible ISOs. I like Skirmisher on Ma. I don't like that healer ISO that everybody puts on him because there's no healing in his kit. So I like Skirmisher there. It gives him that focus boost for when Phoenix teams come in here. They get ability blocked, although now the Phoenix team got upgraded with magic, so it strips the ability block, but whatever. It's the back and forth that Scopely likes to do. Hey, buy this, and then we'll reverse it, and you gotta buy something else. Thanos as a striker is fine. He can pretty much be any ISO, and Skirmisher Striker on these two, that's fantastic. You went Striker on her. I went Striker on her and Skirmisher on him because I like the control. I use my Black Order on offense to beat your Black Order on defense, and so that's why I like her as a Striker. But on defense, I think it's probably better to go the other way around. Don't change anything you're doing here. Just change that placement. Just swap placement on those two, and you're probably gonna be fine. Yeah, I think what you're doing here is okay. I'm gonna go A- for this. You could touch up some of these power levels, but it's really not worth it. This team is past its prime. It is just a war offense, war defense team. There's not much value for it anywhere else. Your ISOs are good enough. They're not the best in my opinion, but they're good enough. It's nothing to get excited about. Moving on. Here we go. Hydra 1.0, one of my favorite defensive teams. I think it's a very valuable team because of its low investment, requires higher investment to come back into it. You went Fortifier across the, whoa, no, you didn't. Look at that. You have Fortifier on the tank, that's good. Fortifier on Hydra Sniper, that's a good one too. I like Fortifier across the board on these guys. But you went Raider on Trooper, and that's because when he spawns in, he sprays everybody, so you're hoping he crits a bunch on those. That's good. And then you went Striker on Grenadier. That's cool. Grenadier's got some oomph. And there's going to be some vulnerables on the field with Skirmisher and Raider out there, so maybe he'll come back into him and stuff. Personally, I think if you're going to go with something other than Fortifier on Grenadier, you should probably go with a Skirmisher in case you bring in Baron Zemo, and then he'll get called in for the assist and place that Skirmisher. But it doesn't really matter because you're not going to be making Baron Zemo a Striker, so it's not like it's triple hit combo, so maybe Striker's the way to go. I don't know. The ISOs on this team don't matter so much. That's why I tell everybody go Fortifier across the board, because they die and revive with that extra barrier, making them that much tougher to kill. You got pretty level power investment in here. I think it's good. Yeah, I think this is a great team, man. I like it. I like what you're doing here. I'm gonna go ahead and give you an A for this team. I think it's close enough, man. I think it's close enough. I kind of want to say A-, but I think you got some good stuff going on here, so I like it. All right, team number 6. Fantastic Four with She-Hulk. We have 2 skirmishers, 3 strikers. She-Hulk is the 3rd striker, so that's okay because she's so slow. She's not going to be soaking up many vulnerables. I personally prefer her as a skirmisher just to get one more skirmisher in the team. But you can make her a striker. You can make her a fortifier if you want. She has 7 red stars. She's pretty tough. Maybe striker's the way to go on your team. I don't know, but I'm not going to dock you for it. I think it's pretty good. Your placement is fine. We are moving She-Hulk to the outside. I was mistaken. She does, the way her kit reads is not how it works. So you need to have her on the outside. We'll just leave it at that. Yeah, I'm gonna give you an A for this team. I think it's real good. You're doing everything just right. Okay, team number 7 is a Web Warriors, and you put Squirrel Girl in here in place of Punk Spider. Now, maybe Punk Spider isn't built up, or maybe because you're breaking up that YA team, you want to go just put her in here. This is actually not a bad choice. She has that early cleanse. She has a little bit of synergy with Miles. You know, they're both young Avengers. It's not a bad choice. It's not a bad choice at all. I think you should make her a healer on both of her teams, though. And I do think that Spider-Punk on this team is the 5-piece is the best build for this team. But if you don't have Spider-Punk ready, she's a great choice as a 5th. That cleanse for this team is really good. It helps keep people coming into it. And you know what? On defense, that might even make this team pretty formidable, because a lot of times you want to come in and like stun Ghost Spider so that you can kill Ghost Spider and then really put the brakes on this team's damage. So that might be actually really good. I don't know. I like coming into this team with Uncanny and stunning them with Storm. So I'm curious, you know, if you don't land that stun on Squirrel Girl, I'm not sure how that times out. I'm not sure if she's going to cleanse that stuff or not. I think it's a great choice is what I'm trying to say. You went with Skirmisher on OG Spider-Man. That's great, especially when you get into higher level of Doom raids where that focus and resistance is just brutal, and you need that extra focus to get past that resistance check. However, on defense, I like him better as a raider. So in raids, I think you should definitely be bringing his ISO right on up the way he's at. And then it's too expensive to be switching him around, you know? So like if you build him up to that level 5 skirmisher, then just leave him on defense, you know, because you're going to get value out of him in raids, and it's too expensive to switch it for defense. And I won't dock people for doing that. However, if you have all the ISOs in the world to work with, then on war defense, he should be a raider and she should be a healer. Striker to do those clears. I like that. So yeah, I'm gonna go A- on this team because he's not level 5 skirmisher yet, and she is a striker instead of a healer. And I do believe that Spider-Punk is the best build for this, but this is a great alternative build. And if you get your YA built up, that YA is proving to be a pretty stubborn team, but also the YA has some hybrids out there right now that people are going nuts over. So who knows how that's gonna go with a YA team. Team number 8, Heroes for Hire. Raider, Striker, Skirmisher, Fortifier, perfect ISOs, perfect placement, great power levels, great investment in this team. You're doing everything right. That's an A. Good job. Team number 9 is Doom Mercs. You have perfect ISOs on this team, perfect placement. And actually, you know what? You could swap Taskmaster and Shuri. She doesn't need that adjacent heal. No one's really going to be attacking into Shuri to trigger that healing effect. So swap Taskmaster and Shuri, and then you'll be running the exact same thing I run on defense. It's a great team. I get lots of DVs with it. It's totally beatable. It's just one thing that I like to run once in a while. But make that placement swap. I'll give you the A for that. As is, it's A-. And team number 10... Hey, this is something we can do with our Sinister. Throw them in with a bunch of plug-and-play characters. Okay, the only thing about this team, is that there's no pre-taunting tank, there's no early taunt, so people get to choose their targets. However, aside from that, this is fine. This is a bunch of plug-and-play tunes that work really well with each other. You have two skirmisher, you have one skirmisher in Sinister who he doesn't attack every turn. So, and two strikers who attack almost every turn. He has a summons, but they attack a lot. So you don't have enough vulnerables on the field with this team. Yeah. You know, you might think about being Sinister is such, reduced power level compared to everybody else. You might think about taking Sinister out, seeing about throwing some other pre-taunting tank in there, or a Strife. Nah, not Strife, not on this build. I don't know. Somebody else. If you got Blob available, or you want to move Blob in here, you could put him in here, and then you'd have to do a major placement change to get your deflex going everywhere. But I just come into this, I'm like, well, I get to pick my target and do whatever I want to with them because no one's going to taunt away, no one's going to go invisible. Maybe change You could put Ghost more in the middle, so she's helping with chain attacks, but I don't see chain attacks being a thing. Like, I don't see Shadowlands coming into this. I see other things coming into this. You know, like just an X Factor or something, kind of blowing it up. She's going to be reviving people, but she'll probably end up reviving Sinister. I don't know. I'm not excited about this. You're not really doing anything wrong. It's just a mashup of some powerful people. And I don't know why you went with Skirmisher on Sinister. He should be a healer. I don't know. I'm gonna go with a B for this. It's got some potential. It's like 80% of the way towards a good team in a bunch of different directions, you know? We could do a placement swap. We could change a character out. You could change an ISO setting, but yeah, it's just a B for me. Nothing great. I think we can come up with better ideas for Sinister than this. All right. That was Genby's defensive review. If you want your defense reviewed, links are in the description. Remember, guys, don't just have a good game, be good to yourselves and others too, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.